Okay, so this is the oil filter canister of my 62 Valiant R Series. And when I was younger, changing the oil, I didn't have a clue what the heck this thing was, but I thought I'd make a quick video while I got it out of the car, just to show anyone that's interested in exactly what's in them, what they comprise. There's not too much to it, but there's a lot of people, I'm sure, that don't really know what the go is with them. This being an R Series one, they've got the oil pressure switch screwed into the side of this base. On the S models, I'm pretty sure it's just a steel plug from memory. It's just a tiny little plug that screws into there. And these, on the R's, they go to two hydraulic rubber hoses that go down to the oil pump. And on the S's, it's generally connected to the steel pipework that goes around the motor and back to the oil pump. I'm just going to put this in my vise and unscrew different components of it so we can see what's going on. Okay, so on top, whenever you buy an oil filter for it, it's always got little gaskets. Well, there's one. The first little gasket is this little gasket on top here, underneath the main bolt. So we'll undo this. Oh, bloody thing's turning, of course, because I've got to use one hand. Stand by it. We'll do it up a bit. There we go. Oh, whole thing's come. This ain't going to work, is it? There we go. Slowly but surely we'll get there. Okay, so we take that off, and the first thing we find underneath, there's our replaceable oil filter element. We find we've got a little spring in there and the bolt on the top. And there's the gasket I was talking about. Inside, there we go, there's also another gasket which goes inside the lid there, like that. And that's just a replaceable gasket you usually get with the kit. And we come back over here. This is what you'll be replacing. And it is usually completely chock-a-block full of oil. Messiest job you've ever seen. So I'll put that over there. Inside, well, obviously there's nothing there, but this tube in the centre, there's like a little spring stopper inside that. And what happens is oil actually comes up from the bottom, and it can't go back down because underneath the base down there, there's actually like a little, it's sort of a hard plastic gasket. But in any case, the oil comes up from the bottom, and it actually goes back in to into the filter and through this tube hole here, and then goes back out. And it's sort of hard to explain. I'll just undo it. Okay, so this is just screwing off the base at the bottom. So there you can see our base. But having a look more importantly at this, when it's upside down, I'll just get something to hold it. You can see these holes here. Well, what happens is, I'll just get the base. What happens is, oil, I'm pretty sure, comes in through this hole here. And what that does is then, it then goes through into these little holes. I can press that down. I don't know, you can't see that very well, but I can press that down, and when the oil, you can see it moving there, the oil goes through it but can't come back. It's like a little one-way valve. So the oil goes in through those holes and into the canister, and then it comes back out and goes back to the engine via this opening here. Like this is what the inside of it looks like. As I said, there's nothing much to it. And you can see here there's like a bit of a rubber gasket thing here. I've left that on, but it still provides a bit of a sticky gasket sort of thing to it. But I've actually made this, which I haven't used yet, but it's a cork gasket which I'm going to use instead, because you've got to get a good seal on here. If you don't, I remember when I was a kid, I did it up and I didn't do it up tight enough, and when you start the car up, you just got oil absolutely pouring out everywhere. So basically that's it. I'm sorry that it was a bit shaky and that. I didn't realise how hard it'd be just with one hand. But yeah, that's all the components of your oil filter. And as I say, you can sort of see inside there. The oil, if you can imagine, at the bottom comes out from underneath and can't go back down because there's this one-way, like a one-way valve, that one-way gasket. And I actually had to get this sent from a bloke in Queensland. I bought it off him because the other container that I had, this gasket or whatever it is in here, it had all broken apart. So what that would mean, and I'm not sure how important it is, but the oil would be able to go in, but it would be able to also run back down. And I think the reason that's not good is that because the oil canister, especially on an R Series, is up high, the oil will all leak out of it overnight back down into the motor, and when you start it up, well, you've got a whole area that hasn't got any oil in it. That's why it's like an anti-flow gasket, anti-flow back gasket. Anyway, I hope that's of some use to somebody. Again, apologies for the less than professional presentation.